You're welcome back. Now, we've been talking about 5G all morning because our friends from Ericsson are here to tell us about the big plans they have to bring this new service to Ghana. Our guest this morning is Fadi Pharaon. Now, he's the president for Ericsson's Middle East and Africa division. Fadi, it's great to have you. Good morning.
Good morning, Kojo. Many thanks for having me here.
Now, it's obviously exciting. 5G is the new product Ericsson is bringing to the market. First of all, explain to us what is the difference between 5G service and what we have available in Ghana today?
Sure. I mean, number one, 5G is a standardized technology, right? That ourselves and other vendors collaborate with the service operators that you would find here in Ghana to deploy it. Of course, in Ghana, we are already up to the fourth generation of cellular, known as 4G or LTE to some. And it's enabled you, especially if you have a smartphone, to enjoy different types of, data-related services, watching YouTube or browsing the internet, sending emails, sending photos to each other and whatnot. Now, with the fifth generation of cellular coming in, obviously the performance and capabilities will be augmented, right? From a consumer perspective, typically we look at the magnitude of increase of speed as well as what we call in the industry latency, meaning the time it takes to actually get the reaction between the nodes, to be extremely high performing. And that will enable us, in conjunction with getting more advanced devices and maybe in the future, glass format kind of devices, to enjoy new services which we call could be augmented reality or virtual reality. So let's say, suppose you go to a football match, for instance, and you put on in the future with the 5G-enabled glasses, you could actually see different types of animations popping up on top of what you're seeing in real life, giving you data on the match, showing maybe the history of the goals that this particular player has done and others. So those are typical consumer-related applications, but they will take a few years because we have that dependency on the devices that I mentioned. But another very big and important, I would say, addition, once 5G is available in any country, is the ability for the CSPs, the service providers, to offer home broadband over wireless. Typically today we are accustomed to getting maybe a fiber connection, but obviously that is not available everywhere, right? So for me to enjoy in my own home broadband capabilities, so I can surf my laptop and do what I need to do for productivity, entertainment, or maybe to watch TV streaming as well, I need a very solid and high capability performing broadband. And that is what we call fixed wireless broadband, which 5G will offer the population. And thirdly, which is, I would say, probably a pivotal approach for this technology, is the ability to target enterprise and small, medium enterprise, but also manufacturing plants, mining plants, ports, basically any industry which is in the process of digitizing. Once you bring in 5G connectivity, and because of this low latency I mentioned earlier, you are able to suddenly have the option to monitor and manage assets in real time. So in a port, typically we look at use cases of cranes that are lifting the containers from the ship. Imagine if you can bring automation to that to increase productivity, but also to increase safety. So there are tons of examples in such an industrial environment that would benefit really the companies. And we are doing different types of proof of concepts around the world with our partners and customers on 5G.
Now, this is part of a bigger strategy for Ericsson, isn't it? You have a goal of pushing and promoting innovation and technology across the continent. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, Ericsson has been present for more than 140 years now. We are a technology company, and for us, innovation is frankly what makes us succeed, right? It's the foundation of everything we do. We have a major belief in investing in research and development and bringing the best products that we can to the market with the talent that we have in the teams. For us, we've been actually present in Africa for more than 100 years. Imagine that. And of course, at that time, it was a different type of technology, right? More on the fixed phone. But we are very, very proud of that heritage, and we're very proud of the partnership and the collaboration and the potential that we see in this continent. We believe digitization in general and information and communication technology, ICT, will contribute deeply to the development of the countries of this continent. We have research with external parties that demonstrate that once you increase mobile broadband penetration by 10%, you see actually an economic growth that ranges between 0.6% up to 2.8% in the countries. It's quite a fabulous, impact. And we all know why, obviously, saving time. I can maybe sell some of my crop wirelessly. I can enable my children to access some self-learnings over YouTube or whatnot. So it is, of course, a fantastic catalyst. And we know in Africa, we always say mobile first, right? So the culture of going to the mobile first is very well implemented here. We also know that, in this continent, it's really the cradle for innovation when it comes to mobile financial services. The whole aspect of allowing people to get access to a wallet wirelessly. They might not even have a bank account today, allowing them to be able to transact money between friends and families or pay for services. This was innovated in Africa, and it's, of course, spread everywhere, including here in Ghana, where it's mainly successful. So we are super, pleased to be able to be a contributing party to our customers here and support the population to thrive and open opportunities for all types of society.
If you just joined us, we're talking to Fadi Pharaon from Ericsson, and he's getting us all excited about the brand new 5G service that they are spearheading here in Ghana and across the continent. It's going to be faster, more robust internet to a device near you. And we're learning how they plan to achieve it. Fadi, it's not going to be easy. We have a country that has its own limitations. We've got power supply issues. We've got connectivity issues. How is Ericsson intending to overcome all of these in providing this all-important service to every Ghanaian?
Thank you. Very good question, Kojo. I think that we see always a set of challenges all over the world, frankly, depending on the geography, when you deploy any type of technology, especially one where you have requirements in terms of coverage for a certain percentage of the population. You have requirements on how strong the network service and performance will be. If I take some examples relevant maybe to Ghana, we look at rural areas. Right, we want to ensure that everybody has access to the internet, and as you know, it's not always very simple to achieve that because the population might be dispersed in the rural areas. You might not have enough density. It might be difficult to access some of the territories. It might not make commercial sense. So these are the type of solutions we have now come up with an alternative, which is our solar site solution. We call it the rural site solution. Basically, it is a way for our customers to more cost efficiently set up a tower made out of steel, basically, which is a bit of a departure from what we typically do, where you have to build up a cement foundation and wait for the cement to dry and, bigger kind of a civil works engagement. But this one is a bit much more easier to install, completely and fully managed by pure solar power. And all of the active equipment that is really needed to get this site up and running is in an enclosure inside of it. These type of solutions then would make our customers enabled to have a much more, let's say, cost-conscious approach and enable coverage in rural as well.
Fadi, Ghana is going through its own digitalization revolution. We're seeking to put everything in the digital space. How does Ericsson's vision plug into Ghana's?
At Ericsson, we are absolute major believers of the positive power of information and communication technology. For sure, we are obviously part of this industry. We're part of that vision. We see also great strides in how ICT can improve on the big question of climate change, how we believe ICT solutions could probably resolve up to 15% of our carbon emissions around the world. So there's a lot of good that comes with technology. We are fully supportive of Ghana's vision on how digitization will bring economics prosperity and enable everybody to be in an inclusive society. So we are supporting in multiple dimensions. Of course, our biggest focus and support always comes to our dear customers in the country. We support them with all types of solutions and services. But we're also engaging with different government authorities, in particular regulatory bodies. I can give 2 examples. One, which is the Smart Africa Digital Academy, SADA, whereby we have done a collaboration with them late last year, in fact, to support over 100 senior public policy officials who work with this type of policy and spectrum and all of these areas related to telecommunications, to give them an education about what is coming up in new technology, of course, machine learning, artificial intelligence, 5G, among themselves. So that helps build a foundation of knowledge that will help the regulatory as well take the right decisions forward for the country. Another collaboration we are honored to be participating in is we have a memorandum of understanding with the African Telecom Union, the ATU as well, where we have together published a set of recommendations that, again, will allow the regulatory to give the best conditions when it comes to release of spectrum and other related regulations so that the operators here can prosper, and obviously all of the end users like yourself can have access to great wireless services.
Well, you heard it here first. 5G is coming to Ghana and Ericsson is powering it. Of course, we've had the benefit of a briefing from Fadi Pharaon on how it's all going to unfold. Before you leave, why don't you give us some timelines? When am I going to be able to access this wonderful, magical 5G network on my device?
Wow, that's a great question. But I would leave that question to our service providers, our customers. They are the ones who, operate in Ghana. They own the license. It is their plan to launch it, so I'll leave it for them to answer that. We are here just supporting them with everything we can do with the technology and the talent we have.
Fadi Pharaon, that's a future to look forward to. Thank you very much for your time with us.
Thank you very much. Take care.